Hey there and welcome back to Mirror's Edge. My name is Pete and today we complete Chapter 7. In the last video we found out about Project Icarus, an initiative to hunt down runners, such as our protagonist Faith. Now we're in pursuit of the killer of mayoral candidate Robert Pope, who probably holds a few answers, and at this point still remains anonymous. However, that might be about to change.
Now don't go just charging in there recklessly, kiddo.
That's Pope's killer, Mark.
Yeah, well there might be more heat out there. It's too risky to try to get to the boat by foot. You'll be spotted for sure. There must be some way to slip in undercover.
Last time we saw Pope's killer was on the screen of a surveillance camera being located on the boat next to us. Before we go on board, however, we want to make sure, in good completionist fashion, to grab all runner bags. And the first one is placed very early in the level, right around the corner here. Now it's time to get on the ship, and we're not going to get there by climbing. Instead, let's hear what Merc has in mind.
Sounds like it's time for a little stowaway action, Faith. Quick, before it goes.
What the hell is in this boat anyway?
No idea. Could be munitions, I guess. Might be to do with this Project Icarus. Look, head straight for the deck if that's where you saw this guy. Once you found your killer, get some answers and get out fast. Lots of blue traffic in the area, so get ready for a fight.
As the truck gets going, we can, at least mentally, prepare for quite a bit of combat on board of the ship. Since we plan to take on all enemies we encounter unarmed, this level is, at least so far, the hardest one in the playthrough. To make up for it, we will unlock both combat-related achievements, bringing us to a total of 23 after the level is complete. And now, because this truck scene doesn't even bother to entertain us, and we're going to be stuck here for a while longer, let me just fast forward. Our one-woman boarding party has reached the ship and now it's time for some good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat. The first enemy gets disarmed easily from the back, then we throw away the gun and move on to knockout number 2. There are, however, 3 more PK units on this deck and one of them is wielding a machine gun. So we're going to hide here and wait for them to come to us. Well, hello there. This reaction time disarm marks number 15 of the playthrough and unlocks the achievement Mine. For enemy number 4 we also choose to disarm, not because we have to, but simply because it's faster. And now on to the part where probably 5 out of 10 times you're going to get killed. If we time it correctly, we can attack the machine gunner when he stops firing. Disarming him is then extremely easy because we have a lot of time to do so. Getting this sequence right took me about 3 hours and I almost destroyed my keyboard. Let's move on. Now getting through here without using a gun is hard as it is already. Additionally, there's also the time factor, because after 30 seconds, backup will arrive. That means we should get up and out as soon as possible, but we're not going to leave without the second runner back. On the wall behind it, the question, are the trackers organizing? The trackers being guys like Merc and Drake, who track and guide the runners through the city. And it seems, despite having formed a loose network, they're not really operating as a structured organization. Just another small piece of information to keep in mind. Now we move into the second big fight situation in the level, this time against 4 armed PK units, including, again, the machine gunner. We want to rely a little bit more on knockouts, that's why we choose this path to dispatch of number 1, then we reaction time disarm the enemy here. While doing so, we're being continuously shot at by the machine gunner, which is why we're choosing to disarm it and to knock out, because it's faster. Then we get back inside the hallway where the last target for a melee knockout awaits. That last punch earns us the Tango Down achievement for 20 knockouts. Like before, the only guy left is the machine gunner. And also like before, we managed to time the pause in his firing with our attack. Disarming him is then again easy, and I can quickly talk about the Tango Down achievement for a few seconds. I will not go into detail about what counts as a knockout and what does not. We may have actually unlocked this achievement earlier, but with kicking guys off rooftops and whatnot, and with playing on the PC and having no real way of checking whether or not something counts as a knockout, this was the point where I was certain that we had 20 legitimate knockouts. After we have now been tested extensively in our combat abilities, the next part will be a bit more climbing action. From the pipe we want to jump across and then move to the left. Because movement here is very slow, it's a good idea to jump as far left as possible from the pipe. We want to continue left until we are under the second light and we have our hands above the little dark spot on the metal in front of us. From here we turn around and swing through, then climb just a bit higher and swing one more time. Then we drop down again and start a wall run at the yellow warning sign. We finish with a turn jump and then climb left.
Drake says he's got a runner in your area. Says they've reported a lot of activity on that boat. But he's seen what he thinks is your guy on the top deck.
The top deck is our goal now, and that means we have to go upwards. The next jump can be a bit tricky. It's not more than a simple wall run turn jump, but both the correct starting point and the correct point for turning and jumping can be easy to miss. We drop down and then go to work on the wheel of the door. After it opens, repeat the entire thing. Because why open one door painfully slow when you can have two? As Merc has told us, we need to go to the top deck, and judging by the stairs in front of us, we're not there yet.
Should be a way through to the top deck above you, near car deck 6.
We drop down through the small hole in the ground here, then we're blocked by another one of those doors, but behind it, things will get interesting. Why? Well, because somebody shoots at us.
Stay in cover and work your way towards them. Time to get some answers.
And with Merc's commentary, while we're getting the third and last runner back of the level, that seems to be the person we're looking for.
Head down, baby.
It looks like someone really doesn't want us to talk to them. Just like in any good game, explosive barrels are the enemy.
Watch them.
We can, however, get away with one hit, and that's also enough to get us out of the line of fire, up the ladder, across the roof, and then halfway across the top deck, while the shooter has obviously changed his weapon of choice. So we run up the stairs, and then go one-on-one with Robert Pope's assassin. This fight is a lot different from the ones we have encountered in the game so far. The assassin can take more damage, is faster, and can attack in various ways. After enough hits, and with a good position, we can go for the disarm. However, it won't be that easy.
He's getting away.
The assassin tries to escape, and we follow quickly. Only to be blocked by another door. And if you now think, well, they certainly would have only put one door in there, well, they did not. After door number 2, we drop down to the right and then continue our pursuit. In the next room, we do not follow the path the assassin takes. Instead, we run to the far end of the room.
Keep on him.
And go up there because that involves one climbing action less. We continue the chase through an open door, then vault over the balustrade here. Continue to follow the assassin downstairs, then avoid getting killed by an explosion, and after going around the corner we're going to ignore the gas coming out of the pipes on the left. It will damage us, but we can recover in time before that affects us. Then we wall run turn jump a level higher and immediately drop down again. We follow the assassin down the zipline, then up and over the fence,
Careful, Faith.
and on top of the containers we have the final confrontation. For this, well, let's call it boss fight. The same rules apply as before. A good mix of evasive jumps and a few rapid kicks and punches will quickly wear down our opponent, and we soon see the gun flash red. That means it's time to press that disarm button again, and this time with success. Now that completes the gameplay of Chapter 7, but I advise you to stay and watch the cutscene. And after that, I'll see you in Chapter 8. Cheers!
Cell? I tried to warn you off. I'm sorry. You've got to learn to let go, Faith. You remember? Like you did with your family. The runners are screwed. Icarus is just the start. I want to live, Faith, not just survive.
Why Pope?
His campaign was getting unexpected support, but he got stupid. Started making threats to the wrong people. High-up people.
He found out about Icarus, so they had you kill him.
Him or me. Sorry about Kate. Didn't know she was your sis.
Click the video to watch the next part in the series right now. If you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button and show your support.